primary school teacher named Mrs. Ellison had been teaching the same year for class for 11 years. She believed with complete certainty that she could read a classroom the way other people read a page. She knew which children were tired, which were hungry, which were carrying something heavy from home. She could tell from the way a child held a pencil or stared at a wall whether they had slept or eaten. In the second week of the new school year, she began to notice a boy named Leo. He was 10 years old, quietly spoken, never disruptive, always polite. But he arrived every Monday morning looking hollowed out with exhaustion. His uniform was always clean but always slightly too small. He never had a packed lunch and always said he wasn't hungry. He never raised his hand but always knew the answer when she called on him directly. She said nothing for several weeks and simply watched. One Monday morning, she arrived at school 40 minutes early and looked out of her classroom window at the front gates. At 6:55, she saw Leo arrive. He was dragging a large canvas bag that was clearly very heavy across the wet pavement. She recognized the bag. It was the kind used by early morning newspaper delivery workers. He was doing a delivery round before school. She waited until the school day ended and the other children had gone. She asked Leo to stay behind to help her tidy the bookshelf. When the classroom was empty and quiet, she sat on the edge of her desk and said simply, "Leo, how long have you been doing the morning paper round?" He looked at the bookshelf and said nothing for a moment. Then, "Since September last year," she said. "That is over a year." He said, "My dad got sick last year. He can't work for now. I wanted to help with something." Mrs. Elliston said, "If you could change just one thing about your day right now, what would it be?" He said, "My shoes have a hole in the bottom left one. When it rains, my sock gets wet and I can't concentrate properly. But please don't tell anyone I said that. I don't want to be the kid that people feel sorry for. I really don't." Mrs. Ellison looked at him steadily. "I won't say a word to anyone." He helped her tidy the bookshelf and went home. The following morning, Mrs. Ellison arrived at school before anyone else. She placed a plain cardboard box on Leo's desk. Leo came in and sat down. She kept writing on the board. She heard him open it carefully. She heard him go very still. Inside were a brand new pair of school shoes, 3 pairs of dry, thick winter socks, and a note that said, "For dry mornings." She heard him pick up the envelope and open it. Inside was a letter confirming a paid part-time library assistant position at the school. The hourly rate was set at exactly what the paper round paid per week. She had funded the first 3 months from her own salary. She heard him take off his old left shoe. The room was completely quiet. She heard him put on one new shoe, then the other. She turned around. He was looking directly at her from across the room. His eyes were very bright. She held his gaze for one moment, gave the smallest possible nod, and turned back to the board. Some teachers change grades on a page. The best ones quietly, without any fuss, change the entire direction of a life. Comment amen if a teacher once did something that you have never forgotten.